Blog Talk Radio.
Paranormal Review Radio.
Welcome, everyone. It's Friday night, and you're listening to Paranormal Review Radio, the only radio show without commercials and with more great paranormal talk. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Happy 4th of July. I'm Anthony Agati in New York.
And I'm Lucy Liebfried in noisy Chicago. Are you ready for another Paranormal Friday night? We welcome all of our regular listeners and those of you who have tuned in for the very first time. If you have a question or a story you want to share or an answer, feel free to ask us in the chat room or call into the show at 661-244-9831. Please press 1 so that we know that you want to talk on air. Don't forget, you can always send us an email with future topics that you'd like to see on the show, or maybe you have a story or a theory that you want to share with us on air. Our new email address is paranormal.review@AOL.com. We also have our own YouTube channel where you can watch all our previous shows. And don't forget to check us out on our Facebook show page for more information on the paranormal and upcoming shows.
So I'm in New York, it's midnight, and in Chicago, where Lucy is, it is 11 p.m. And apparently, Chicagoans still do fireworks past 11 p.m. So you're going to probably hear some banging and some noises going on, booms going on in the background. So hopefully that'll end pretty soon. But tonight's show. Before we came on air, Lucy and I were talking, and Lucy, I had mentioned this to you before, but you had mentioned it also, that tonight's show was very hard, very difficult to do.
This was the hardest show I've ever had to do as far as research.
It is, because it's a vast amount of articles and information. There's just so much out there on myths and legends and what's true and what's false within the paranormal, even the history, when we say hard, it's not so much finding the information, because there's a plethora of stuff out there, but sort of fact checking a lot of these things, because people put things out there, especially on the internet, that you don't know if it's true or if it's just opinion and plain old, run-of-the-mill legends and gossips that are run around the community or over the years or however it's been drawn up. And so, we don't just take the first thing that's out there and, regurgitate it to you guys. We do some fact-checking as well. And checking out these things, that was the difficult part, I think, for me.
Yeah, it was like everything that I found, it was like you had to confirm or try to cross-check and try to see. And there were a couple things that the original answer that I got ended up being the wrong answer after I did some more research on it. So this was pretty intense. This was like this was good, but it was pretty intense.
I found some interesting pieces of information that I did want to share on air with everybody who's listening. But when I got into some of the fact checking and then into the numerous other articles or papers that were written up about it, there was one story that I actually wanted to talk about. I'm not going to bring it up, but there were 5 different theories to 5 completely different theories to this one piece of information, and just trying to formulate a a narrative to explain it all, I got confused. And so I didn't want to, mention it on air and get everybody else confused. So it wasn't even worth my time to get into it. And that's what a lot of people should be doing. We say this all the time when we go to locations, and I will fully admit I did it one time and I made a huge mistake, and I took information from a paranormal investigative group about a location, and it was completely false. And I did mention it on air, and that's my mistake, and that's where you have to get into more of the fact checking. Not just what's online. Don't go that route. Be inquisitive and actually ask people questions. Find out things either with your own local historian or the historian and City Hall, even at the locations that you're going to. Check it out and find out for yourself. Don't just take the word of mouth from someone else. But besides being hard, this was actually a fun thing to do. I kind of was really I found some things that I had never known before. We're going to get into a lot of this stuff. We're going to talk about myths and legends, some of the history. Well, history will play a part in all of the information tonight. But before we get on to some of the things that we both looked up and researched, and by the way, neither of us know pretty much, Lucy or I don't know what either of us, the information we have. I haven't shared anything with Lucy, and Lucy hasn't shared anything with me. So I could be learning something firsthand with all of you guys. But before we get into all of that stuff, I wanted to answer the 3 questions that I had mentioned on our promotion that we did on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and I don't know, wherever else we did our promotion. And the 3 questions were, well, here's the first one. Who recorded the very first EVP? Members in our chat room, if you want to play along, and if you know the answer right away, I may try and stall a little bit to give you guys a chance if you want to write the answer in the chat room. Lucy, did you remember, we talked about this actually. I think it was when we interviewed Mark and Debbie Constantino, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember who it was, right?
Thomas Edison.
No.
Okay, then I forgot. This is going to be fun.
Well, Thomas Edison has a role within EVPs. He was inventing a unit, a recording unit that he said could be possibly used for it, but he said anything technological would be a one step closer towards investigating or learning about the afterlife. But the very first EVP that was recorded was done by an American photographer, Attila von Zalay. And I did this a while back. I wrote this up, and I actually did this in the intro for Mark and Debbie Constantino's interview. And Attila von Zalay actually recorded this phrase from the spirits, supposedly from the spirits, "Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all." Do you remember that now?
Yeah, now I remember.
There was a couple of other things that he supposedly had recorded as well. 2 of them, the first one is "This is G," and the other one was "Hot Dog Art," which I have no idea what the heck that means. But he is the first, he is attributed to the first ever to record an EVP. The second question that I had in the promotion was, what president claimed to have witnessed a UFO? Do you know this one, Lucy?
Jimmy Carter.
Correct, Jimmy Carter. Do you know that there's another one also too? He's actually attributed to the second one is actually attributed to being the president, or what they coined him as being the Star Wars president.
Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan. That's correct.
I knew that from Star Wars.
And Trina's right, and Kai is right as well, Reagan. Both had been a governor when they witnessed a UFO, and Reagan, I think it was up until his death, he still had admitted to seeing this UFO. But Jimmy Carter actually, the story goes, in 1969, that he actually reported the sighting to the International UFO Bureau of Oklahoma City. And now, later on, I'm not sure when he gave this answer to a reporter, but he is stating now that his sort of memory is vague, and he thinks it may have been some sort of military reconnaissance mission that was, I guess, done at some military base, and he sort of is attributing his vision and his experience possibly being of that nature. But who knows? He could be recanting. Somebody maybe is trying to keep him quiet. Who knows?
That's kind of funny because he did tell them he saw it for 10 to 11 minutes, and he also said that several members of the Leaney, Georgia Lions Club also saw it.
Well, everybody's able to recant things and think back. 20/20 is hindsight, right? And the third question that I had posted in the promo, how many exorcisms has the Catholic Church performed? Now, this one was very difficult to try and find the answer to. It's not widely publicized by the Vatican or within any sector of the Catholic Church as far as how many exorcists are out there, how many have sort of been deemed by the Vatican. I think there is a number, but, I don't know if that's true or not, if it could be lowballing or if it was just a rumor that was spread. There's no way that I can really sort of fact check that unless I sort of hibernate in the Vatican somewhere and do a little recon. But there was an article that I did find in regards to a Father James Labar, and he is a member of the priesthood of the Catholic Church in America, in the U.S., and he claimed to have performed 20 to 25 exorcisms a year. Now, I know that there's other priests and members of the clergy, and I'm not even talking about demonologists or anything like that. I'm talking about, members of the cloak, members of the uniform of the church. And so he claims 20 to 25 a year. Now, that's only one priest. There's supposedly 10 exorcists in the U.S. I don't know if they've been commissioned by the Vatican, if they were sent from the Vatican to the U.S., or if they were sort of bestowed upon the Vatican to initiate these exorcisms. So there's about 10 in the U.S. There's a number that's been floating around as far as the number in Italy, in the Holy City, of 300 exorcists. So if you do the math, just on the Roman Catholic side of things, you're looking at possibly about 1,500 to maybe 1,800 exorcisms a year. Now, that's only from the Catholic Church. There are approximately 4,200, I think that's the number now, 4,200 religions in the world. Can you imagine that? 4,200? That's a lot of gods. So I don't know if you can multiply 1,500 by 4,200 and whatever that number is you get, and that's how many exorcisms there are. But the question was, how many of those the Catholic Church do? So my guess, or my guesstimate right now, is about 1,500 to maybe I'd say tops 2,000. And I think that is, I guess, a pretty modest number. And I don't know, Lucy, if you had done any research or if you had come across anything. I know you didn't specifically look for anything with exorcism, but
no,
had you heard anything?
No, not really. And I was going by what you said, Catholic Church only, and I do know that before they even consider an exorcism, it has to go through channels, and they don't give their blessing, so to speak, on too many of them. So I was thinking much lower.
Well, there's another priest, and I can't remember his name right now. I think his last name is something with an A. Pretty infamous exorcist priest from Italy. He claimed, because I remember doing this research for another topic that we had, 160,000 exorcisms in his lifetime, and I think maybe he's 60-something, closer to 70 years old. 160,000 he did. And I kind of did the math on that, and that's sort of like, I think, 6 a day, maybe, I think it is. How is that possible?
I don't know. It's not.
That's why, things are not easily publicized, especially coming from religion and the Vatican. So I don't know whether or not to trust these numbers. But, just from the simple math that I did as a modest 20 to 25 a year that one exorcist could do, that's the number that I came up with. So those are the answers that I found on just those 3 questions. And, oddly enough, when I was doing that research, just to expand on this a little bit more, Christianity is the number 1 religion with 2 billion followers. Do you know what the second? Do you know what the second most popular religion is?
We talked about this once before. I'm going to say
Yep.
Buddhism.
Nope.
Islam.
Pinkos is right. Islam. It's amazing. I would never have thought of that. You think Judaism or something. It just, I don't know. That's my lack of knowledge on religion. But all right, so we got a lot of information. Did you want to start anywhere in particular?
Well, yeah, sure. I ranged my questions from easy to like the obscure. So I guess let's start with something easy. Let me go down here. Because I actually went, okay, since it's 4th of July and we were talking about presidents anyway, which American president held seances in the White House?
I remember this because his wife was interested in it. The first lady was. Ooh, I can't remember. Was it Washington or Lincoln?
Anybody in the chat room?
Why can't I remember this so definitively?
It's Abraham Lincoln. Him and his wife held seances in the White House, and they were attempting to contact the spirit of their son, Willie, who died there and was walking the halls of the White House.
That's it? That's all you got to say?
That's all I got. Actually, Lincoln had a lot of stuff. I mean, Lincoln seemed to have quite a connection with the paranormal. I mean, there's a lot more other things that I came across. I mean, I didn't write any of it down, but
yeah, exactly, Trina. I was just going to say that he was prophetic with his dreams. Some stories that I've read that he actually predicted his own death, or he actually envisioned that night in the theater.
He dreamed about it 3 nights before. That's
right.
What it was. Okay. Well, keeping on the White House and patriotic stuff, which former First Lady is still doing her laundry in the White House?
Still doing her laundry in the White House?
Mm-hmm.
How is that paranormal? Does she have some ghostly knickers?
Hillary Clinton.
As Trina said, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Abigail Adams' ghost has been seen hanging in the laundry in the East Room. She appeared frequently during the Taft administration and as late as 2002, and is often accompanied by the smell of laundry soap.
Okay.
Barbara Bush just wouldn't leave. Oh.
Any other presidential information?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Okay, here's another easy one. What room in the White House did Winston Churchill refuse to sleep in ever again? And it's considered one of the most haunted rooms in the White House.
Lincoln's bedroom, no?
Mm-hmm. The Lincoln bedroom. Winston Churchill famously refused to sleep in the bedroom ever again after seeing the ghost of Abraham Lincoln beside the fireplace. Churchill had just gotten out of a bath and was completely nude during the encounter. And Lincoln has been seen by Teddy Roosevelt, Herbert Hoover, Dwight Eisenhower, Jackie Kennedy, Lady Bird Johnson, the presidential children, Susan Ford, Maureen Reagan. They've seen him standing by the fireplace. Let's see. Other guests have reported that the lights in the bedroom will turn themselves on and off, and there are, of course, the cold spots.
Mm. We have some Canadians, obviously, in the chat room. So maybe we move on and not bore them so much about American presidents. Okay. I had one thing, maybe because I know you found information on this. Why don't we get into the Poltergeist movie?
Okay.
All right. So everybody knows the Poltergeist movie. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this movie. If you haven't, you have to go watch it. Come on now. If you're in the paranormal, you have to watch this movie. Anyway, it's been widely known for many, many, many years that the Poltergeist movie has had a curse attached to it. There have been deaths. There have been some strange phenomena that have gone on during the filming and after the filming. And so what information do you have, Lucy? I want to get yours first. And I'll see if there's anything different that I've come up with, which I think I have different. Okay.
Why is Poltergeist considered the most cursed movie of all time?
Why is it?
Oh, no. That's the wrong question. Sorry. Which actress who was in all three movies died?
Well, don't give the question. Just give your information.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. I have to go with my list. My questions are written ADD style, so they're all over the place.
All right. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go.
This is what I have to deal with, guys. Okay. So the Poltergeist movie, everybody knows there's a curse attached to it. Obviously, there have been major deaths. I mean, I don't think any other movie has had this many deaths, I guess, connected with this movie. Now, we had reported on this a while ago, and it's no big deal and no big news exclusive, but if you remember the scene in the first Poltergeist movie when I think it's the mother and daughter are in the pool, in the back pool when it is raining and pouring, and they fall in, and they're trying to get out, and all of a sudden the coffins start to pop up out of the water, and the coffins open, and the skeletons come out and scare the crap out of them. Well, those skeletons are actually not props. Those are actual cadavers. Those are actual human bones, human skeletons that the movie, the director, Steven Spielberg, used to fulfill this movie because it was cheaper to use real cadavers instead of fake props. Mm-hmm. So the story and the legend goes that because the film used real cadavers, that the spirits were not happy with it and created this curse or created the negativity surrounding this entire movie and the people within it. So I'm going to go to there's a couple of accidents that actually happened. Did you know about these accidents?
I know about the accidents, but I got one more thing about the skeletons. Did you know that the cast and crew were so disturbed by the fact that these skeletons were real that they had an exorcism done?
Yes. Do you know who did the exorcism?
No.
I'm one-upping you right now.
Who?
Do you remember the Native American in the movie?
Oh.
Will Sampson?
Yes. And
he actually did I guess a cleansing you'd call it, because he is a shaman, and he did a cleansing of the set itself because he was not happy with it, and because of all the strange occurrences that had occurred, he wanted to clean things up and make things better, I guess, and put things at peace. So he did that. But the first accident that ever happened was actually in the first Poltergeist movie. Did you find any information on this?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember the clown scene with the little boy, Oliver Robbins, when he's in his bedroom, the little boy, he's in his bedroom, and the clown comes from the chair and, strangles him and tries to kill him?
Yes.
Do you guys remember that in chat room? Well, at one point during the filming of this scene, whatever mechanism was created to make the hands and the arms of this clown go around the little boy's neck to pretend to strangle him actually started to strangle him, and the mechanism went haywire. And when they said cut, the actor, Oliver Robbins, the boy, was continuing to choke and choke and choke. At first, they thought he was just overacting and trying to repeat, his lines and continue the movie, and didn't hear the word cut, and until Steven Spielberg himself noticed that it was real and got up off his chair, ran over, and freed the boy. That is the first accident that happened. There's another accident where is it? During the filming of Poltergeist 3, if everybody remembers the series, there was 3 Poltergeist movies. The third one, if you remember the parking garage scene, at the end of shooting the parking garage scene, there was actually a fire that occurred on set in this real-life parking garage. They're not sure how it started, but everyone who was working on this film was hurt, except for one person. And they didn't reveal who this one person was. It was just a member of the crew. But everybody was hurt on this scene, and only one actually was able to come out unscathed from it. But let's talk about the deaths, because this is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get into the deaths, there's one other scene, some paranormal strange phenomena that occurred with the mother, Jo Beth Williams. If you remember the mom, during the filming of the first Poltergeist movie, whenever she would leave the set and go home, when she'd walk into her home, she'd notice that her pictures on the wall would be all skewed and all crooked. She'd straighten the pictures, go up to her bedroom, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and the pictures would be all crooked again. She'd go to work, go on set, come back home, pictures are crooked again. She straightened it continuously over and over and over again. They weren't sure if, again, this was, and this is all before the shaman did any kind of cleansing or cleaning, but she noticed this for a while. So that's some pretty cool information. But let's talk about the deaths. Who do you want to talk about first?
Dominic Dunne, who played Dana in the first movie. She
Dominic
died at age 52 after being murdered by her former boyfriend, Julian Beck. He strangled her.
Right. This was 4 months after the release of the first movie, and Dominic Dunne had died. I'm not even sure what happened to her boyfriend. I don't know how many years he got for it, but that's pretty sick. Who's the second one?
Julian Beck, the 60-year-old actor who played Henry Kane in Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. He died on September 14, 1985, of stomach cancer, diagnosed before he had accepted the role. So that was kind of expected. And
he died after shooting Poltergeist 2. This happened right after he finished filming the movie. Okay, who's the third one?
Will Sampson, who was 53 years old and who played Taylor the Medicine Man in Poltergeist 2. He died as a result of post-operative kidney failure on June 3rd, 1987.
Okay. And
the last one is Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann in all three Poltergeist movies. She died on February 1st, 1988, at the age of 12 of septic shock.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, and that was a pretty sad piece of news that came out, that little girl had died. They actually finished filming that last movie, the trilogy of it, using another actress who's, if you remember watching the movie towards the end, you never see this girl's face because they had hidden her face in order to be able to finish the movie. Obviously, they weren't going to find a look-alike, or they didn't want to. They just wanted to try and see if they can finish the ending to it. But that's pretty sick, and that's for just one movie to have all of these bad occurrences and negativity surrounding it. There's got to be something strange going on. It can't just be coincidence. There's one more piece of information in regards to Zelda Rubinstein. You know, that happy-go-lucky old woman, the little lady who helped Carol Ann. Exactly. But during the filming of Poltergeist 3, there was a photo shoot that was done. I guess it was for promotion pictures that they had done. And during Zelda's promotion picture for this, during the photo shoot itself, she felt a large jolt hit her. And when the photographer had shown her the picture and developed the film and showed her the picture, there was a white flash of light that had obstructed the view of her face. And they didn't know what it was. They had no idea. And it was done the same day. They showed her the picture and everything. You know, a little freaky, but obviously there were other pictures in the slot that they were able to use. Later that day she went home, got a phone call that her mother had died. And so Zelda had said that it could possibly have been that this was her mother visiting her on the set at the time of her death. So I don't know. These are pretty interesting pieces of information just in one movie. You know, I always wondered, would they ever do a Poltergeist 4?
You know what? I don't think so. But then you never know. I mean, all they're doing are remakes now.
I think they should. I really do think that they should. It deserves it. Are you alive or are you reading?
I'm reading.
All right. What do you want to get into next?
Let me see. Well, let's go, if you want to stay Hollywood.
You want to stay Hollywood?
Yeah. Do you know where room 217 is and what's so special about it?
The Stanley Hotel?
Mm-hmm. And what's so special about 217?
Stephen King, that's where he stayed and wrote the book. The Shining.
And who else? And who else?
And Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
I know my history.
During the filming of Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
He stayed in that room and he checked out a few hours after he checked in. He left the room and never returned. He's never said a word about what happened in that room either.
We've stayed in that room. He's a wimp.
Yeah. I had a really great experience in that room, but of course I didn't have a recorder. So
of course not. All right, so let's stay in. Well, that wasn't Hollywood, other than Jim Carrey. That wasn't really Hollywood. Celebrities.
Okay.
Do you have any haunted celebrity stories? Besides Kesha and her making love to ghosts. I don't want to hear that.
Okay. What did Lady Gaga spend $5,000 to use before she performed at a London venue on her Monsters Ball tour?
$5,000 she spent on something at a concert.
And this wasn't for the concert. This was before. This was kind of like before.
A cleanser, I don't know, like a demonologist or something.
She dropped $5,000 on a Ghostbuster machine to do a spirit-seeking sweep of one of the London venues on her Monster Ball tour. One of her aides had to buy the kit, which includes an electromagnetic field reader. Her aide said that the gear had to be robust as they were taking it on the road. So she must be doing this at every venue that she's performing at.
So she spent $5,000 on an EMF detector.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what she did?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is she that gullible?
I don't know, but either it's gullible or that scared.
But the EMF detector was not supposed to be getting rid of anything.
According to this, there was a spirit-seeking sweep. So I guess she wanted to know what
was going around her.
What was going to be in the venue.
Give me $5,000. I'll travel with her and hold my EMF detector.
Okay. What spirit has actress Michelle Williams claimed she's been visited by?
Say that again?
What spirit has actress Michelle Williams claimed that she's been visited by?
Heath Ledger.
Mm-hmm. She claims that she's been
visited
by Heath. She claims that she's been visited by Heath on several occasions. According to her, Heath visited her 3 months after his death at 3 o'clock in the morning. She woke up in her bedroom and she saw furniture being moved before seeing a shadowy figure that looked like Heath. The second time he visited was after she gave birth to their child, and she actually had a conversation with him. He apologized for not being there to helping her raise their daughter, Matilda.
Do you know, I don't know if you remember, where you got this information from? She told this to a reporter, or was this in an interview?
This is from the Hollywood Scoop. Top 10 Celebrity Paranormal Encounters.
Okay. I have one, if everybody knows the singer or the group Lorde, Lorde. This is just recent, and I actually got this through my day job. This is from MTV News. And Lorde has been saying, this is actually just released on June 30th, that her studio, she is claiming, is haunted. They've been recording, and when they record their music, they're getting voices in the background that have nothing to do with the music or are not. Obviously, when you're in a recording studio, you have to have absolute. It's not recording anything other than what is in that actual recording studio room. And if it is just her in that room and nobody else, you know how soundproof those things are. If it's not picking up anything else, what else could it have been? And so she claims to be getting these visits, and she's not sure what to do. But the article that I have is from MTV News, and they actually interviewed Alexandra Holzer. You know that name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody knows that name. The daughter of the famed Hans Holzer. She basically saying to her, just welcome them. Tell them to sit down, hang out, have a conversation with them. Treat them as though that they were people, like, everybody does. Treat them as though that they're still alive, and either they may go away or they may quiet down. But she had mentioned this in an interview on June 30th, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, you know what? See, that brings to mind another story that I found, and I didn't get the article, but Adele bought a house.
Oh yeah, her mansion.
And she bought a mansion, and she said she got scared because there were things moving around in there, but she hired a bodyguard to protect her.
Okay, not sure what the bodyguard's going to do.
That's exactly what I thought. So, let's see. I did go to television, and of course, Ghost Adventures. I'm sure everybody knows everything about Ghost Adventures.
What about
I found
them?
this one. Okay. What was Zach Bagans' job before Ghost Adventures?
He worked at 7-Eleven.
No. No, he was a wedding DJ.
Zach was a wedding DJ?
Yes.
Oh,
okay,
my God.
what did Aaron Goodwin want to be when he grew up?
I have no clue.
He wanted to be a basketball player.
Well, he's tall enough.
Mhm. Okay, one more. I got another Zach thing. In 1997, Zach appeared on a game show. Which game show was it?
1997 game show. What was he, 10? I have no clue.
Wheel of Fortune.
You got to go Google that. You got to go YouTube it or something. That can't be true.
I'm hope. This is from the Travel Channel.
I was from the Travel Channel?
Yes, it is. Okay, where was Nick Groff born?
Isn't he from Boston?
Wrong.
Oh, wait.
He lived.
Seattle?
No.
No, I have no idea.
He was born in San Jose, California. He lives on the East Coast now, but he was born in California. Okay, here's an easy. During one investigation, a spirit grabbed Zach's butt. Where was that investigation?
Oh, wasn't he leaning on the bed that was at the... Wait, is that at the Jenny Wade house?
Mm-hmm. In Gettysburg.
I remember that.
Okay. And here's one last Ghost Adventures one. Where did they do their first investigation together as a crew? As Ghost Adventures, where was the first place they investigated?
I'm gonna look for chat. Anybody know? Sharon, Cow-Eye, Trina. Pink Ghost is thinking
Goldfield.
Goldfield, but that's their documentary. That was their documentary that they did.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. You're talking about their first ever season of Ghost Adventures, their first episode.
No. I'm talking about the first time the first time they investigated together, the three of them.
Oh, before the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did remember hearing about this. Not on TV, Cal. In Zach's apartment.
Zach's apartment. No, that was the first exorcism.
I did remember. Oh, K.O. Sorry. K.O. is her name. I don't know. Where?
It was Castle House in Tonopah, Nevada. And this came from the Travel Channel.
Castle House?
Castle House in Tonopah, Nevada. Okay, so not to leave out Ghost Hunters. I got some Ghost Hunters trivia. Which member of the team once wore a tiara during an investigation because another member of the team told him it was a headlamp?
Dave Tango.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they told him to wear a tiara because what?
A tiara, because it was a headlamp. So he did.
Oh. Idiot.
Okay, here's an easy one. What's the name of the dog that Jason Haas has trained to aid in investigations?
I can't remember that one. I give up.
Anybody in chat? It's Maddie.
No.
Okay, when did the first episode of Ghost Hunters air?
What, the month and year?
Well, year. Give me a year. How long have they been on TV?
It's either 2004 or 2006.
Right, 2004. It was October 6th, 2004.
Wow, 10 years.
Let's see.
I wonder if they're going to do anything special. You said October, right?
October.
I wonder if they're going to do anything for the 10-year.
Let's see. I did go and get some other movie stuff. Psycho. Everybody's seen Psycho. It's loosely inspired by which real-life serial killer?
I don't know that one.
Ed Gein.
Who?
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein?
Mhm.
Never heard of him.
He's pretty. There you go. Pinko's got it. He's pretty big here in the Midwest. He likes to skin his victims, kind of like the precursor to Jeffrey Dahmer. Let's see. Okay, here's an easy one. You know this one. In Child's Play, what is the name of the boy that the killer repeatedly attempts to possess? Friends to the end.
Oh, jeez.
I also
want some
dialogue
interesting facts. Interesting facts. What is this?
Okay. Well, what's the boy's name?
I don't care.
It's Andy. Okay. What's the name of the demon from The Exorcist what's the name that the demon from The Exorcist used to contact Reagan?
What's the name?
Mm-hmm.
The demon's name?
The demon used a fake name when he first started talking to Reagan. What name did he use?
I have no idea.
Cinco's got half of it. Captain Howdy.
Okay, got it. Captain Howdy.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. I remember her saying that now. I remember her saying that. Okay.
And the Ouija board. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me something.
Give you something?
No.
Okay. I actually found a really cool website. It's called ancient-origins.net. I highly recommend this website. It's really interesting. I think Scotty Roberts.
Scotty Rourke?
Rourke.
Or Scotty Roberts?
Rourke. I think it's Scotty Rourke. I'm not sure. I think he actually writes for this website as well as other really good and infamous people in the field. But I highly recommend this website to go check it out. They've got some really cool information out there. One, I've got actually a few things from here. And some of these were really, really interesting and intrigued me enough to actually print them up and talk about them here. The first one that I got is recently, let me just see where the date is on this thing, March of 2013, okay? There was a Egyptian text that was found that dated back to 1,200 years ago, and it actually describes Jesus as a shapeshifter. Have you heard anything about that?
No.
Really interesting. It's documented. It's not a made-up story. There is this piece of text that explains Jesus Christ as being a shapeshifter. And the text explains, and if you know the story about Judas and Jesus and how Judas gave Jesus up to the Romans and told the Romans where to find Jesus and how to find him and how to get him to crucify him. And so the story about Judas and how it was he told the Romans, I think it was something along the lines of you have to give him a kiss in order to tell if it is Jesus, and I think that's why they sort of coined that phrase, the kiss of death. It's sort of, you're leading someone into their death by finding out who they are with this kiss, and able to lead them down that path. Anyway, this text, this Egyptian text that has come forward, possibly explains the reason why Judas had said that you have to kiss Jesus in order to find out if it is truly him. And the text goes on to say this, and this is just part of it. Then the Jews said to Judas, "How shall we arrest him?" Meaning Jesus. "For he does not have a single shape, but his appearance changes. Sometimes he is ruddy, sometimes he is white, sometimes he is red, sometimes he is wheat-colored, sometimes he is pallid like ascetics, sometimes he is a youth, sometimes he is an old man, ... And it goes on to other things. It doesn't give you the entire text and what it actually says. Now, people can say, taking from this, that meaning the persona, meaning your attitude, not so much being a physical shapeshifter, but the idea of, the text of this actually has never been, it's never been surfaced anywhere. It's not in the Bible. It's not anywhere else. It's not in the Dead Sea Scrolls or anything like that. This is the first piece of information talking about how Jesus had these different forms, and the only way to find out if it was Jesus, because if he were to, as according to this text, if he were to come up as an old man, the only way to find out if it is truly Jesus is to kiss him and give him a kiss on the cheek. And so I thought this was really interesting because this text, this Egyptian text, was discovered in March of 2013, but it's never been researched further. It's sort of been hidden away. No scholars have come forward. No scientists have come forward. Nobody else wants to touch it. Obviously, the Roman Catholic Church or the Christian Church does not want anything to do with this, so they're not going to touch it. But it thought, and the article talks about how nobody in any notable field has come forward to try and decipher and do more research into it. It is authentic. They have documented that it is an authentic piece of text that is dated. They did carbon dating on it that's 1,200 years old. But I thought it was really, really interesting piece of article on here. I don't know if he's a shapeshifter. I don't know if you'd call him a shapeshifter or not.
Well, as far as the shape-shifting thing, that goes to the belief that if he truly is the Son of God, okay, there is a belief that he appears to whoever believes in him in the manner that they want to see. Like, to me, I would probably see a Native American person. You would see someone who's white. I'm kind of thinking that's the thought behind it. Something like that.
But don't forget also, too, this is talking about when Jesus was here on earth in physical form.
Alive. Yeah.
So it's not so much as visions and how, Jesus would appear to you based upon your own personal experiences and how you would interpret Jesus if he were to come to you. This is sort of...
But yet he's the Son of God. I would think that would have been something that was happening when he was alive as opposed to now. I mean, I think that whatever gifts or whatever abilities he had, I would honestly think that would have been in play when he was alive also. I mean, we're talking about the Son of God.
Could be. It's up for debate, but the question was nobody's come forward to do any further research on it, and it's pretty interesting and puzzling as to why. If this text is talking about this.
That's interesting. I mean, I really would love to see that. It's kind of like what they call the Gospel of St. Thomas, the Gnostic Gospel, which the Catholic Church has also refused to give any credence to. And that set of writings kind of points towards the kingdom of God, the church. It kind of like lets you know that your church is within yourself. It's not within a building. It's not within, Rome or anything like that. It's within yourself, which, of course, the Catholic Church is not going to sanction that. Of course not. That would take money out of their coffers.
Well, my atheistic research that I've been doing, there's many Gospels that have not been included in this final book, and I really definitely want to do another. I mean, we're going to be talking about sort of religion and paranormal next week, but we're not going to go so much in depth. But there's so much information I don't even want to get into it now. But anyway,
I have something along the lines of religion. What is realism?
Realism?
Realism. RAELISM.
Belief in trains. I have no idea.
It is the idea of ancient aliens as astronauts. It spawned a UFO religion called Raelism.
Raelism.
Raelism
Gotcha.
teaches that life on Earth was scientifically created by a species of extraterrestrials, which they call the Elohim. Members of the Elohim appeared human and were mistaken for angels, cherubim, or gods. Why are you looking at me like that? I thought that was cool. I mean, I'd never heard of that. Okay, how about this? What is angel hair?
Pasta.
No. Angel hair is a substance that is said to be dispersed from UFOs as they fly overhead. It has been described as being like a cobweb or jelly. Angel hair has been reported at sightings of the Virgin Mary. Let's see.
Yeah, they said that angel hair has sort of been in presence of strange phenomena that occur and sightings of religious sightings, UFOs. I've even heard Bigfoot and even ghostly spirit type phenomena that occur. This angel hair, and that's why they coined it angel hair, because it's supposedly from ghostly spirits. It's supposed to be the hair of the angels.
Okay. How about this one? Where's the door to hell located?
In front of my house.
And it's not Walmart.
Oh, yeah, that could be Walmart, too. No, actually, it's the front door of my office building. That's where hell is.
K.O. said Mackey's. No, it's in Ahal province, Turkmenistan. There you will find a 230-foot burning crater that smells like sulfur. This natural gas field was accidentally set on fire by a group of scientists in 1971, and it has been burning ever since.
You could bring some marshmallows over there.
Barbecue. Okay. Give me something else. Come on.
All right. Again, this is from the ancient-origins.net website.
Okay.
And this is an article. This is not new. Not new, but it's new to me. Maybe new to you guys as well. This was documented on May 5th, 2013, and it's titled "The Enigma of the Voynich Manuscript." Have you ever heard of the Voynich Manuscript?
No.
You guys should really check this one out in particular, because I can't fully explain it. It's a manuscript. It is 116 pages, and it's a picture book basically, and text as well. And a Polish-American book dealer named Wilfred M. Voynich, that's why it's called the Voynich Manuscript, found this manuscript in 1912 when he went to Rome. And they have dated this book, again, carbon dating and other scientific methods, to early 15th century, somewhere between 1404 and 1438 A.D. Like I said, it's 116 pages, and the text, the language in this book, is no language that anyone knows. It is written in some sort of script that cannot be deciphered at all. It is not a known language of anything in ancient history, current history, or anywhere in between at all. The pictures, because there's a lot of diagrams and illustrations in this book, very odd. It has one of these is a picture of these women in a pool of this green liquid, and there's a woman that has both hands, both arms, each of them in a pipe, and there's supposedly these things that are coming out of this pipe. It's a very strange book. It also has some herbal medicines. It's got alchemy in it, cosmology. It talks about the stars, the universe. It also talks about medicine and herbs. I'm trying to think of what else. It's got recipes in it. It's a strange book. I mean, they deciphered all of this just from the illustrations, but who knows what the illustrations actually represent if you can't read the text. But I know this is really interesting, and a lot of the scientists cannot decipher how this language comes apart. They've given it to so many different notable translators and folks who are in the business of translating and deciphering old text from any sort of language, ancient, even to the first known written language ever till now, and they still cannot find out what it is all about. Some people have said that it's a hoax, that somebody just created this, and there's one gentleman that they had talked about in the 1500s, which I'm not sure then, unless he found 100-year-old paper, that was known to do things like this, and he was a known criminal during that time, and had actually done other books of this nature. But again, it's 100 years later than what this book is dated. It could be that carbon dating was wrong, or it could be that it was correct and that they are wrong about this person in the 1500s hoaxing this book. But it still is an intriguing piece of information that they cannot decipher at all. And I think that's what troubles people the most. If they found something that you cannot read but has these strange pictures, it just intrigues you even more to find out what the hell is it all about.
Really?
It's made out of calfskin paper.
Oh.
I don't know. It's strange. You know me. I find the oddest things out there, the weirdest, strangest. Yeah.
Okay.
That's me.
When was the first documentation of a Men in Black sighting?
Oh, I did read this somewhere.
I can see the wheels turning in your head.
Oh, I can't think. Oh, I give up.
1864. A UFO. They think that a UFO dropped several strange artifacts over a small Texas community. The objects, which no one knew where they came from, were picked up and placed in a store window on the main street of the town. The very next day, a stranger dressed in a long black coat visited the shop and offered the shopkeeper a high price for the objects. But because they did not belong to him, the store owner said he didn't have the right to sell the items. That night, the store mysteriously caught on fire, and when the ashes and rubble were shifted through, none of the artifacts could be found. And the stranger was never seen again either. And that actually came from UFOevidence.org.
I get a bunch of UFO information. You know me. I love my UFOs.
I know.
Who was the first person to ever photograph a UFO?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't find this one.
All right. So, forget the name, because I'm sure people are not going to know the name. But when do you think, what year would have been the first ever photographed UFO?
Well, I don't know about photographs, but I know they appear in paintings.
No, I'm not talking about paintings. I know, I'm not talking about paintings. Photograph.
Oh, God, I read this. Oh.
Well, people in chat, give it a guess. When was the first photograph of a UFO ever taken?
1942.
You were wrong. Pinko says 1927. I'm waiting to see if there's anybody else in chat. KO says 1890. Sharon says 1870. Do you want to recant your answer?
Yeah, I'll take my bet. It's not 1942. When?
Why? Because everybody else is saying earlier than you?
When?
Atrina says 1941. Do you want to stick with your answer?
1942. Yeah, I'm going to stay with 1942.
Okay. Well, KO and Sharon were close. 1883.
By who and where?
By an astronomer, Jose Bonilla, in Mexico.
My cousin.
Your cousin.
My maiden name.
Do you know the first written, documented UFO sighting?
First written, documented UFO. That's way back. It's in one of the Eastern Indian texts, isn't it? Vimana.
Pinkost and KO are saying Egypt. Sharon saying BC.
Before
when in
Christ.
BC, Sharon? No, I know. You give up?
Yeah.
In the Bible. The prophet Ezekiel described a great cloud with fire enfolding itself, a wheel in the middle of a wheel that descended and fired lightning bolts into the earth. Now, people claim that that is more theistic in nature than UFO, but many scholars, even Christian scholars, claim that that is something other than angelic in nature.
Mhm. Kind of like one of the archangels that was, it's the only archangel that was a human and was lifted directly up into heaven, which some people think can possibly be the first alien abduction. And I can't remember the name of the archangel. But the story goes to...
Trina's asking a question, could cavemen have spotted something? I mean, it's possible. Yes, there actually are cave drawings that Lucy was just talking about before that I know that I found, and that's been, publicized, that not so much, I don't think it was spaceships, but I know some of the cave dwellings and cave drawings that are out there have humanoid figures with these big rounded circles around their heads, meaning they're sort of space suits and things, sort of antennas on the top of it, that are alluding to the fact that it was space beings. That's what people are gathering from it.
Well,
other people who have said that circle around could have been meant as a like aura, as a light, because many people thought even back then that you had an aura, you had a life outside of you, and that circle around the head meant that. Okay.
Well, I do know that the saints drawings, with the circle around the head, that it shows up in, instead of showing that they're holy, it could be something to do, like you said, that it's a helmet or something to
Right.
do with the UFO.
Do you know what Area 51's nickname is? What do people call Area 51 other than Area 51?
No.
Dreamland. And they took
Why?
it and they derived it from Edgar Allan Poe's poem in its name Dreamland. And Edgar Allan Poe's poem goes, "The traveler, traveling through it, may not dare not openly view it. Never its mysteries are exposed to the weak human eye enclosed."
That's cool. That makes sense.
Right? Do you know that there is a law in these United States that states that it is illegal for U.S. citizens to have any contact with the extraterrestrials or their vehicles?
Yes, I read this.
It is a true fact. Under Title 14, Section 1211 of the Code of Federal Regulations, this was adopted in July 16th, 1969. So if we were to talk to aliens, we'd be arrested.
Mhm. And also too, if you're abducted by aliens, NASA has the right to quarantine you, as stated by a law passed by Congress in 1982. They also have the right to throw you in jail without a trial.
Are you sure they're not talking about illegal aliens?
Well, in that case, I would have been gone a long time ago.
Damn it.
Okay, tell me an unusual fact about UFOologists.
An unusual fact about ufologists?
Mhm.
That they study UFOs.
They have a higher rate of accidental death. A lot of times it looks like suicide, but very suspicious.
Did you ever find facts on that? Did you ever, like numbers? Statistics? No? How many reported UFO sightings are there every year?
Oh, I have this.
No, don't cheat. How many UFOs?
Let's see. Well, in 1990 it was 4,000, so I'm going to say probably about maybe 5,000.
Way off.
What?
Way off in numbers.
Okay. Pinko said 4,700.
I'm talking worldwide. I'm not talking U.S. I'm talking world.
Oh, worldwide?
Mm-hmm.
Well, China has an awful lot of them. I'm going to say 10,000.
10,000?
Mhm.
Nope. There is 192 per day, and that's 70,000 a year.
Okay. All right.
Keeps things fun in business.
Mhm. Okay. Here we go. Let's stay on UFOs. When was the first cattle mutilation reported?
$1935.
The first largely reported case of mutilation occurred near Alamosa, Colorado in 1967. The event involved a horse named Lady who was discovered with her head and neck skinned. The cuts on the horse were very precise and no blood was found. According to Lady's owner, there was a strong medicinal odor in the air that surrounded the corpse, and at the scene, 15 tapering circular exhaust marks were punched into the ground. The evidence was discovered over an area of some 5,000 square yards.
I thought it was earlier than that.
Let's see. Are we going still with UFOs? Give me another one.
Give you another one?
Mm-hmm.
This one's, I don't have UFOs, but this was just recently. I don't know if anybody has heard. I haven't, but then again, I'm not big on Instagram. But there's this fake ghost story that's going around on Instagram about the ghost of Teresa Fidalgo. That is, I guess, I don't know if she's posting pictures or somebody's posting pictures in regards to this Teresa Fidalgo. But if you're tagged with it or something, it says, "I'm Teresa Fidalgo, and if you don't post this on 20 other pictures, I will sleep with you forever." A girl ignored her mom, died 29 days later. You can even search me on Google. Trying to read here. Yeah, people are sending this through Twitter as well. If you stop reading this, you will die. I am Teresa. And if you don't post this on 20 other photos, I will sleep with you forever. A girl ignored this, and her mom died 20 days later. You can search me on Google. It is a common thread, a common chain thing, but this is, I guess, the newest one that's sort of come about. I haven't heard this. Have you heard this one?
No, but Pinko said sounds legit. Oh, my God. No, I've not heard about that one. Okay, if we're going to do ghosts, what's different about the Toys R Us store in Sunnydale, California?
California has banned Ouija boards.
No. The Toys R Us store in Sunnyvale, California is haunted. It was built in 1970 over an 1800 apple orchard once owned by John Murphy, and the store is said to be haunted. The Toys R Us ghost, Johnny Johnson, he haunts aisle 15C, the other back aisles, and the woman's restroom. Johnson was a wood chopper at John Murphy's farm, where he fell in love with the farmer's daughter. His axe missed the wood one day, cut his leg, and he bled to death. He now roams the back aisles of the Toys R Us seeking his love, Beth. Women report feeling their hair brushed when no one is behind them, the faucets turn off and on in the women's restroom, and boxes fly off the shelf.
I don't know what to say about that one.
Okay, you may not know this one. This one is kind of local. Who's Resurrection Mary?
Oh, yes, that's the road strip in Chicago, in Illinois somewhere, where this woman is noticed walking all in white down this road.
Mm-hmm. She's Chicago's most famous ghost. Even though there have been stories about vanishing hitchhikers in Chicago, and they date back to the horse and buggies day, Mary's story begins in the 1930s. It was around this time that drivers along Archer Avenue started reporting strange encounters with a young woman in a white dress. She always appeared to be real, and then she would vanish. The first time some guy picked her up, when they passed Resurrection Cemetery and they stopped, she told him to pull over here. And she got out of the car and ran through the gates. And I don't know if it's still there, but if you go to the gates of Resurrection Cemetery, which I've seen with my own eyes, there is what appears to be a handprint on the iron bars where they say that she put her hand when she walked through there. But she appears, there is the Willowbrook Ballroom that's like maybe half a mile down. There's also Chet's Melody Lounge where she's been seen. She usually sits at the end of the bar. She's they leave a drink on the bar all the time at this seat for Mary in case she ever comes back.
I think there's a lot of those stories in every town where there's a woman in white walking down the road, spirit-like. I know there's one here in Long Island. I've heard this in almost every town, or every state, I should say, has at least one of these. It's pretty common.
But I've seen the handprint on the bars, on that cemetery.
Go over and take a picture of it.
I should. In fact, in that cemetery, and I know, and I don't recommend this, and this is just something, I had my recorder with me, and I just happened to I said a Hail Mary, and I had the recorder going, and I got a response. I got a thank you when I was in Resurrection Cemetery.
You have it recorded?
I think it's, yeah. I have to find it, but this was like a few years ago. I should have it somewhere.
All right. Do you have anything else? Ghosts, spirits? Demons?
I don't have any demons. No, I didn't get. Did you give me demons?
I got demons. I got top 10 worst demons.
Okay.
Do you
I saw
read
that list. I didn't go there. I didn't want to. Go ahead.
What, you didn't want to read it?
I didn't want to. I don't know. I looked at the article and I was like, I shook my head. I don't know why.
All right, so I got a list of the top 10 worst theological and mythological demons that have been written about or talked about or investigated throughout the years, both ancient and current. And these are the top 10. So number 10, do it like David Letterman style. Number 10, Abizu. I wonder if saying these names is going to conjure them up.
That's why I didn't want to do this.
I don't care.
It might have something to do with the book I'm reading right now, but I just didn't want to say these names. Okay.
Number 10, Abizu. The origin is of Jewish mythology. It's pronounced Abizo, Obizu, Obizuth. There's many names. But this is a female demon that was responsible for miscarriages and stillbirths and infant mortality. She's often depicted as a snake-like or has fish-like features. Number 9, Agares. This is a Christian demonology, and it's a male demon. For some reason, they quote, "Those who run stand still, a terrible thing to a victim of during, say, a tornado." He's also said to be one of the demons that controls earthquakes. So I guess it's sort of weather-related. Mm-hmm. Number 8, Akamana. That sounds weird, Akamana. Zoroastrian mythology, and sort of represents, Akamana represents the mind. It's sort of getting into the mind and creating someone to have evil intention. I guess that's like, people say the devil made me do it. Maybe it's Akamana. Number 7, Allah. But it's not Allah in Muslim. It's Allah, A-L-A. It's pre-Slavic or Slavic mythology, and it's also in Christian demonology. This is also one that sort of gets in the mind and it creates the evil deeds and persuades people to do evil deeds to people who are in need. So it's sort of vindictive in nature. Mm-hmm. Number 6 is Asag. It's Sumerian mythology. And he's the cause of sickness. He's an evil one. He looks really evil and devilish. I got pictures next to it. I got this from listverse.com. LISTVERSE.com. So if you go to it, check it out. There's some illustrations that go along with it. They're pretty horrific. Where am I at? Number 5. 5. Belphegor. Christian demonology and Kabbalic mythology. They say that Belphegor is absolutely unbelievable. I don't even want to read this. The Israelites worshipped him in front of a phallic, penis-shaped idol. I have no idea why. But it's supposedly it goes against marriage. He disrupts marriage and causes divorce or whatever. Number 4. What do they call a mistress? They what do they say that they're? I can't remember the phrase now. Never mind. Number homewrecker. That's it. Homewrecker. I couldn't think of it. So he's a little homewrecker. Number 4 is Jikininki. Japanese Buddhist mythology. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. But he eats the flesh of human corpses. He's a hungry guy.
He's a zombie.
He's a zombie. 3 is Pontianic. Pontianic?
In the chat room they're saying, don't say these names so much.
Number 4 is Pontianic.
Stop.
Origin is Indonesian mythology. The Pontianic are the spirits of the ladies who died during childbirth and became undead. So I guess these are the victims of, where is it? Of number 10, Abizu. What was that devil's name again? That demon name again? Abizu?
Stop.
Okay. Number 2 is Lady Midday, and the origin of this is Slavic mythology. It's also known as Sipilnista or Polodunaka. Dunika. She's a female demon, of course. She's said to pose tough questions and make conversations with laborers working in the fields during the hottest part of the day in the summertime. She just likes to disrupt people.
She's a supervisor. That's all.
She's an annoying coworker. So anytime you have an annoying coworker who just can't get rid of, just call her Lady Midday. And the number 1 demon, should I say the name? The number 1 demon? The number 1 demon is Lamashtu. And it is the origin is Sumerian and Mesopotamian mythology. Lamashtu is a heinous, terrifying demoness. Of course it has to be a woman. She is said to menace women throughout and after the end of their pregnancies. Why are all these demons trying to get rid of and bother people when they're pregnant?
Why
babies?
are so many demons female?
Oh, we've got a 2-hour show. We got to talk offline about that one.
Do you think there's a Demon of the Year contest to choose the order?
A demon beauty contest, maybe? Pageant?
Okay, I went to Urban Legend. What's supposed to happen when you call Bloody Mary 3 times in front of a mirror?
There's a lot of theories on this, actually. The one.
What's the historical reason? The original
what do you mean?
reason.
Of what's supposed to happen?
What was the original? What was the original purpose of doing Bloody Mary?
Oh, why did people do it? I forget why. I give up.
Historically, the ritual encouraged young women to walk up a flight of stairs backwards while holding a candle, a hand mirror, in a darkened house. As they gazed into the mirror, they were supposed to be able to catch a view of their future husband's face. But somehow it morphed into, seeing her in back of you.
Well, there's so many. This is one of the notorious urban legends out there that people have sort of manipulated over the years. I've heard that the dead Mary is supposed to come through the mirror and drag you through it to be by her side in forever eternity in hell or whatever that is. Others have said that she reaches through the mirror and gouges out your eyes. There's a ton of different stories about that, and
she'll
obviously
strangle you. She'll steal your soul. She'll drink your blood. She'll scratch your eyes out. Those are all the things that are supposedly, but originally it was so that you could find out who your future husband was going to be. What's the word?
There's another. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos about urban legends, and there's this one really good one, and that's actually where I got the poltergeist from too. They put on this 5-minute. I don't know what you call it. It's not a documentary because there's no words. I mean, there's no spoken words. It's all written, and they've got images. But it's called Real Life Mysteries, Urban Legends. If you just type in Real Life Mysteries, maybe just Real Life Mysteries Urban Legend, you'll find the series, and I can't remember the YouTube name. But they have a whole series of, and they go through almost every single urban legend that you could ever think of. And they talked about, Bloody Mary. They talked about poltergeist. They talk about a lot of different things, which I never even heard of. Even the infamous, I can't remember what they call it, but back in the 50s when people used to go to, Make-Out Corner or whatever they used to call it, that... or make out something. I forgot what they called it. But they used to, have couples who used to go out and drive into an isolated area. And the idea is that this dead thing, whatever it was, sometimes it was a man, sometimes it was a thing, would scratch on the top of the roof of the car and then come down and kill the boyfriend and then kill the girlfriend. And it was this rumor and urban legend that went around so many years. And a lot of people were talking and saying that this rumor was started or created, this urban legend was created to decrease or to stop, I guess, teenage sex and kids who would go out and try things with their boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever. But that piece of information was actually put into Jeepers Creepers, the movie, if everybody remembers it. No, was it Jeepers Creepers? Yeah, I think it was Jeepers Creepers. When they have that scene when they're in this isolated woods area, and the same thing happens, and it was the boyfriend that actually was hanging from the tree above the car, and his scratching was of help for the girlfriend that was still inside the car, but she thought it was somebody trying to come and kill her. But a lot of these urban legends are created in a way to scare society, to help people to either not do something or to do something. Remember that one where if you are driving down a road, a two-way road, that if the person on the oncoming side doesn't have their headlights on, never flash them. Did you ever hear that urban legend? Because the rumor has it that they turn around, follow you, and then try and kill you. That was set up so that people...
That's not an urban legend.
That's an urban legend.
That's real.
That's not real. It was just so people remind people to put their headlights on when they're riding in the dark.
Okay, my favorite urban legend, and this is real easy because we talked all about it. What state was Mothman first sighted?
Oh, West Virginia.
Yes. And when was he first sighted?
I can't remember the year.
Did a whole show on him.
I know, and I can't remember now. 70s, though.
November 15th, 1966 to December 15th, 1968.
Oh, 67, right.
It's really a
It's a
relatively short period of time that the sightings were, but from it, this whole big, giant, I don't want to say legend, because some people truly believe it's real. What bridge is Mothman associated with?
Silver something?
The Silver Bridge.
Silver Bridge.
He was sighted. It was December 15th, and it's actually the last sighting. He was sighted, and then the Silver Bridge, an I-bar chain suspension bridge spanning the Ohio River, collapsed during rush hour traffic, killed 46 people, 2 whom they never found. Okay, here's one. Mothman appears in a video game. What video game is it?
I'm not a
This is
gamer.
for the game. He's actually in Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. The game was published in 2005 by Konami, and it's a 1 in the series. Mothman is also in Castlevania Portrait of Ruin.
Chaos is Frogger.
Now that would be cool. Okay, let's keep going. 1924, the term Sasquatch was coined, and by who?
Damn it. I remember the guy's name. He even has a museum in Massachusetts, I believe. Something with an S?
J.W. Burns. He was a Canadian journalist, and the word comes from the Salish Indians. Okay, when did the word Bigfoot first appear in the American media?
Was it from the infamous video in 1967?
Mm-mm.
When?
1958. Which U.S. president wrote of a Sasquatch-like tale in one of his books or memoirs?
No idea.
Teddy Roosevelt. In his book, The Wilderness Hunter, Roosevelt relays the story of a trapper named Bauman and his brush, which was apparently a Sasquatch.
Okay. I'm not a big Sasquatch person.
Okay. Where and what is the Island of the Dolls?
Is it off Cuba somewhere?
Probably the best episode of Destination Truth ever.
Yeah, I know, and I can't remember.
Xochimilco, Mexico. The island is said to be haunted by the spirit of a man who decided to hang dolls to appease the spirit of a little girl that drowned in a nearby river.
Right, I know the whole story about the guy who lived there. And he's seen it and didn't want to leave and just trying to kept appeasing the spirit and putting up the dolls.
Okay, what's the connection between the Winchester Mystery House and the number 13?
Number 13. I don't know.
Well, first, the Winchester Mystery House is renowned for all the spirits that haunt the place, the doors, the staircases that lead to nowhere. Sarah Winchester actually was told during the seance after her husband and daughter died that she must sell her property in New Haven, Connecticut, and head towards the setting sun. Her husband was the heir to the Winchester gun fortune, and she was told that she had to build a home for herself and the spirits who have died from this terrible weapon, and that she could never stop building the house. If she continued building, she would live. Stop, and she would die. So she kept adding stuff to the mansion.
Yeah, I know the story, but what does 13 have to do with it?
She was intrigued by the number 13. Nearly all of the windows contained 13 panes of glass. The walls had 13 panels. The greenhouse had 13 cupolas. Many of the wooden floors contained 13 sections, and some of the rooms have 13 windows, and almost every staircase in this building has 13 steps.
Okay. Did anybody hear the news, the current news about the girls that were involved in the Slender Man killing?
No, I saw the article, but I didn't read it. What happened?
Well, it was just this week that, I don't remember which of the girls, but one of them was diagnosed as being not sane enough to stand trial. I don't know if they had, I don't think they publicly said it, of what the doctors had found wrong, but she's not sane enough. They've said already now that she's not sane enough to stand trial for that. I mean, obviously, there had to be something wrong with these kids, these girls, to do that to that poor girl. But I'm trying so desperately to find, and I have not seen anything on that other story of the kids, the 3 kids, I think it was, that were hospitalized after using the Ouija board. I cannot find any information at all.
In Mexico.
Yeah, there's no information at all coming out from it in regards, I don't know. I mean, I know what was wrong. I can tell what was wrong. There was something, they must have been taking drugs. But I don't know if anything has publicly come out from it. I'm so desperately looking for it because, people are now putting that in my face whenever I talk about the Ouija board and how it's just the same as a regular recorder. It's nothing different, and trying to dispel that myth.
Chaos says they took trumpet flowers. It was an hallucinogenic.
Really?
Yeah, she said she found the article. She'll post it.
Okay, cool.
Well, that right there, again, the Ouija gets the bad end of the deal because you got a bunch of people that were high doing it.
Right. And you don't get any real follow-up. There's no news when it first came out because it was all over the Internet and all over Facebook when that article first came out. Nobody's posting about that they were all on drugs or they were taking hallucinogenic things.
Well, the second part of it took place in Mexico. There's so many stories. Every little town in Mexico has some kind of story about some kind of urban legend or some curse or something. It's hard to figure out what's real and what's not. And everybody knows somebody who's been attacked or something. That's one thing I remember growing up. Okay, what does chupacabra mean?
Chupacabra.
What does it mean? You know what it is. What does it mean?
I don't know.
It means ghost sucker. A number of farmers report seeing an ugly spiked baboon-type creature that attacks their cattle. It's often partial to goats, and it drains their blood. Let's see. Okay, I found one. Who's Linda Cortillo? This is going back to the UFOs.
Linda Cortillo?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know.
You should know.
Oh, wait. Isn't she head of MUFON?
No.
Somewhere? No.
No.
Then I don't know.
She was an alien abductee whose abduction was allegedly witnessed. She was a housewife who lived on the Lower East Side of Manhattan with her husband and 2 sons, and supposedly just after 3 a.m. on November 30th, 1989, she was seen floating upwards from her apartment to a brightly glowing UFO, and she was accompanied by 3 standard gray aliens. Now, one witness says he even saw tears running down from her cheeks. And one of the witnesses, there's like a couple of security guards that were attached to, a high-ranking person from the United Nations who they think actually saw this. Bud Hopkins wrote a book about it. It's called Witness.
Wait, say it again?
Bud Hopkins wrote a book about this event. It's called Witnessed.
Yeah, the movie The Fire in the Sky, right?
No, that Fire in the Sky is Travis Walton. This is Linda Cortile, and that's not her real name.
Don't know.
I thought you would know that one. Let's see. Give me another one.
I don't have any more.
You don't?
Nope.
Which U.S. president allegedly met with the extraterrestrials?
Don't know.
On the night and early hours of February 20th to 24th, 1954, while on vacation to Palm Springs, President Dwight Eisenhower went missing. He was allegedly taken to Edwards Air Force Base for a secret meeting with aliens. He came back. He said that he had a toothache and went and had a dentist treat him. But the missing night and morning subsequently fueled rumors that Eisenhower was using the dentist story to cover the extraordinary events. It is possibly the most significant that any American president could have conducted an alleged first contact meeting with extraterrestrials at Edwards Air Force Base. At that time, it was called Muroc Airfield. And it was the beginning of a series of meetings with different extraterrestrial races that led to a treaty that was eventually signed.
I have, I forgot, I have one last piece of information, and I'm sure you remember this, and I'm sure everybody who's listening probably has heard this as well. Do you remember the infamous vision that George Washington had when he was at the Valley of Forge, that there's this story that goes that he had this vision that this spirit or angelic being came to him?
I don't know this.
We talked about this. I don't know if it was on one of our shows or we talked about this when we went to
Fort Mifflin?
Fort Mifflin. The claim is that George Washington, when he was at the where was he? My computer stopped working. Valley of the Forge, I believe. Now my computer froze. I can't get to it. Shoot. Anyway, while he was crossing, the Valley of the Forge, when he was on that mission, there was a spirit that had come to him and given him 3 predictions or premonitions in regards to, I think it was the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and then a third war that was supposed to be when the supposed Son of God was supposed to come down, and it would be the War of All Wars, and blah, 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 blah. the story goes that there's a gentleman by the name of Anthony Sherman who was supposedly in the same battle as Washington. He was supposed to have been side by side with Washington. And he had overheard this conversation that George Washington was telling someone about this vision. Now, this whole vision and story and recollection of this whole thing is false. It is completely false. This Anthony Sherman was not even with Washington. He was in the military, but he was not with Washington. I've forgotten. I can't scroll down. My whole computer just froze to find out where he was located, but it was nowhere near where George Washington was. And there's another author. Is that it? I can't remember.
He was in Saratoga under the command of Benedict Arnold. So he wasn't with Washington's forces at Valley Forge.
Right. So, and also, too, history has stated that George Washington was not religious in nature at all. He never, there have been claims that he would go into his bunker and pray at night and, ask for blessings and ask for God to bestow the strength of him and his men. That never really happened at all. And I remember this story for a while now. People have been talking about it. And, of course, a lot of religious groups have picked it up and said that, oh, yes, it was the voice of God, and it was even the Immaculate Mary came to him. There have been so many different versions of this story. But this story was actually written and published in a book. And, again, I can't get the person's name now that wrote this down. I think it's something with a B. I think his name is Blakely or something. Anyway,
The Tale of Washington's Vision was penned by Charles Wesley Alexander.
There we go. Not even with a B at all. Well, can you find out any information there? Because I can't.
Let's see. He was a Philadelphia journalist who published The Soldier's Casket.
Right. Soldier's Casket was the book that he had published.
He wrote under a pseudonym, Wesley Bradshaw, so you're right.
Bradshaw, okay.
He actually authored several fictional vision or dream pieces featuring historic American figures that were published broadsheets. Right.
So he did this with other elected officials and presidents and politicians, and he was notorious for writing books that all of these men had these premonitions and visions and dreams in regards to future events. But it is completely false. So if you've ever heard of that story, or if you ever hear it come up again, and you can do your own research on this and look it up yourself just so you can get the correct information and not just go by on what I've said right now, because I'm just going on memory of what I read earlier today. But it is not true. There was no such thing as this premonition, dream, or vision that George Washington had.
But did he cut down the cherry tree?
He did cut down the cherry tree. We got about 6 minutes left. Did you want to get one more that is really interesting that you want to leave our listeners with?
Oh God!
Anything that shocked you when doing research?
It didn't shock me, but I really like this one. Which former First Lady watches over the Rose Garden of the White House?
No clue.
Sally Madison. The Rose Garden is one of the commonly used sites for presidential announcements. When a century later, when First Lady Ellen Wilson wanted the garden to be dug up, the gardeners reported that Madison's ghost appeared and prevented them from destroying her garden.
That interested you?
Yeah, I thought it was nice.
Okay.
Don't make those faces at me. He's making faces at me.
That's what you wanted to leave our guests with?
Oh, let me see. I think I did let's see.
Okay, time is ticking away. Never mind.
Okay.
It's taking you too long. All right, let's tell everybody who the fan of the week is and what to expect on our exciting show next week. I'm really excited for next week.
The Paranormal Review Radio Fan of the Week this week is Deanna Pace of Westchester, New York. Now, Deanna doesn't have much info on her page, but we do know that she likes Paranormal Review Radio because she told us so. She sent us a wonderful note on our Facebook page, and we want to thank you, Deanna, for your kind words. We're honored that you're a fan, and we wanted to recognize her. So thank you very much, Deanna, and congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Deanna. Thank you for that lovely note. And don't forget, if you want to be a Paranormal Review Radio Fan of the Week, all you have to do is just like us on Facebook at Paranormal Review Radio.
Okay, Pink Ghost just put something up there. I do have something. She mentioned Houdini. What was Houdini's other job?
What was his other job?
Yeah, he was an escape artist and he was a magician.
He worked at 7-Eleven with
Zach. He did
Zach.
one other thing. No, he was actually a spy during World War I for the United States and England.
That's right. I remember that.
Okay. So, how much fun was this? Okay, it was great to see some of the things that we may have missed during our search for answers and to confirm some things we already know. How did you do? Did you learn anything new? We certainly did. Now, are you ready to impress the world with your knowledge of the paranormal? While there are no experts, you can be proud of the amazing amount of knowledge you have. We want to thank everybody who listened, who played along. It was a perfect ending to a great holiday, and we definitely have to do this again soon. So, let's talk about the things that we've learned. Now, we've done shows on religion, always a hot topic. We've covered the origins of religion, touched on different forms of religion like voodoo, Wicca, Satanism, and each topic has sparked such a great conversation that lasted after each show was over. So we're going to do it again. When dealing with the paranormal, how does religion come into play? Does religion affect our perception of what we experience? We want to delve into this subject much deeper next week, the relation of religion and the paranormal. And who better to talk about this subject than the professor himself, Mr. Noah Tysick. He'll be joining us next Friday night to explore the topic. And if you've heard Noah on the show before, you know that this will be an interesting and educational night. We're going to be back at our regular time next week, so be here. Summer school is going to be in session. Thank you, everyone, for being the best fans ever. You're all part of an ever-growing family. Thank you, Anthony, for keeping me focused when I need it. So, until next week, all of you para scholars, keep learning and have a paranormal week. Good night.
Happy 4th, everyone. Good night.
Paranormal Review Radio.